Greetings, weary travelers, come, warm yourself by the fire, and let us regale you with mighty tales, tales of adventure, tales of heroism, and of course, tales of Tamriel. I'm your host, Arkaniir, and I'm joined by two of my amazing co-hosts once again, starting with the man, the myth, the legend, LotusOfDoom. How's it going, Lotus?
Doing well. Good to be back. It was strange not being on an episode.
Good to have you back. Yeah.
It's rare when I don't have to listen to my own voice, but also very refreshing when I got to re-listen to that episode.
Well, I hope you heard the parts where we told everyone that we agreed that you would play and regale us with Battlespire once you return from your vacation. So
it's in the cards.
So there you go.
I've got the previous Battlespire stream for this show, and I'll have. Man, what it wouldn't be great to be able to say I beat Battlespire next time.
We'll see. I mean,
yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen.
One side of me is saying, hopefully you do, but another part of me saying, I hope you never do.
Same.
You're such good friends.
We love you, but we love you playing Battlespire more than we love you, so... Also joining us, the voice you heard giggling, because she's the giggle queen herself, the joy of the show, HyperPixie Gaming. How's it going, Pixie?
Going great.
Well, that's also good to hear. It's all gonna be better once we get the tales. And this episode, we are gonna get there pretty quickly, because we legit don't have too much to talk about. And I am itching to do some other stuff in the background while we record this. So for context, a little bit of behind the scenes update. For the longest time, Elder Scrolls Online has been our only podcast that we were recording. And, well, that's not the case anymore because the New World Compendium with the New World, Amazon's New World MMORPG coming to the scene and starting with the closed beta and getting ready to launch at the end of August, we brought back our New World Compendium podcast with Stormslord and Sivian, and we recorded our 4th episode, which was our first episode in like 8 months. So that is back. You can follow it on all the same links. Well, it's on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, YouTube, Twitch, and our website, of course. So if you're interested in that, check it out. It's yet another podcast from us. And we are getting ready to record a completely unscheduled Chivalry podcast with Lotus whenever there are news. So we are having some more extra podcast action to Tales of Tamriel. So yeah, that's pretty much what's happening in the background with DC and stuff. Which brings us to our news, which are almost non-existent, except two of our favorite Elder Scrolls Online people, aka the creative director himself, Rich Lambert, and our beloved community manager herself, Gina Bruno, are now streamers on Twitch. They have the full overlays, alerts, the full setup and everything, and they play games and they stream. Now, Rich, for anyone who's been around on Twitch and live streams of Elder Scrolls Online, goes with his usual name, /lurk, obviously, the famous. And Gina is, I hope I don't butcher this, actually, it's Stronza Streams, but if I don't say it right, then it's not gonna make much sense. So I'm gonna try to, because I don't know if I said the word right. She's actually
that's how I
right
would
now.
say it. I would say Stronza Streams, yeah.
ONZA Streams. And yeah, she's streaming on Twitch as well. Now, do remember, if you tune into their streams, they are off the clock. They are not working when they are streaming. They are enjoying a hobby on their off time. So please do not pester them with support questions, asking for things, and just enjoy your time there, just like you would enjoy any other Elder Scrolls Online or any other game stream. But they are one of us now, so there you go. The community finally broke them into streaming.
So I didn't know that Gina was also streaming. I know she was looking for overlays, but I didn't know she was actually streaming. But then whenever you just read out her username, I was like, oh, I'm going to go follow while she's offline. But she's actually currently streaming now, so I'm going to follow later. So that way I can't check because I can't catch.
So it's kind of funny.
Before
this, Rich was streaming. He rated Gina, and then we joined for this call. So that's why. Her first stream was actually last night. I caught it when she went live.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she got it set up. I would like to point out the fact that when you raid Gina's streams, it is basically the greatest thing on the planet because, just an avalanche of happy puppy sounds go everywhere, and there are just puppy emotes all over the screen for an irresponsibly long period of time. So
that is amazing.
It's worth watching just for that.
Yeah, I just hope she doesn't change that. She was looking to changing it, but I hope she does not.
And yes, I can link her page.
All right,
Perfect.
thank you. So that's pretty much the only thing that's happened in Elder Scrolls universe since last episode. I mean, the Elsewhere Celebration event has actually started that we talked about last week. So people are getting their tickets. People are destroying dragons. All the cool stuff is happening. SD just said patch Monday. Is that the Flames of the Waking Flame DLC release patch that is coming up on Monday? If so,
shoot, already?
Why there isn't a? I mean, it's on PTS, so
Monday?
it makes
it's usually
sense.
a Tuesday thing, isn't it?
But if
I thought
Tuesday?
no, you guys get Tuesday. I get Monday. I'm sorry. Invert that. You get Monday.
Okay.
I get Tuesday.
I was gonna say you are not getting anything before us, sir.
It happens once.
Also, SD says that, so that's not the. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
still. Yeah. It's just what because there should be one more week of PTS. Then it goes.
I don't know how time is going right now, so I am has it been a year, month, week, day?
I've been staying largely not informed other than just like a couple balance changes and stuff like that because I do not want to see what the new dungeons are like. Although I heard they are fun, with remains to be seen difficulty from what I was told.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, everyone, well, not everyone, but Luna and I have been taking a break from ESO. Obviously, I've been playing Fallout and now New World. Luna is taking a break as well. Kitsu, I would assume Kitsu is always smashing things in ESO. Same with Jen. He regularly runs trials on both servers.
Yep.
But I assume with the Waking Flame will probably come back and get back into the dungeon and see how it is. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
That's the news. You did want to mention.
Really
well, I
news,
guess it will be part of Tales. The
it's
event
sort of a
problem.
Tales thing.
Yeah. So that brings us to Tales. Actually, that's how short an episode this might actually be for the first time ever. We legit. I mean, well, see, the thing is, people wants us to jinx it. We tried doing a short episode before, and people were not happy. They were like, I need to listen to this for 17 hours throughout my entire work week. We did try to do an hour episode, and people got upset. So when we do record for 7 hours...
Last, like 3 weeks, and people were like, please stop doing 1 hour episodes. This is upsetting me. They're like...
Yeah.
Like, all right, well, we figured that would be helpful. It's like, no, don't condense it. Don't be reasonable.
Yeah, a lot of people were like, I listen to this on my way to work, on my back to home, on my way back to home. I listen to this at work. So, don't make a short episode. So we were like, okay, here you go. 4 hour, 35 minutes.
Right. I just need one episode so that I can finish constructing an entire barn attached to the house.
Yeah.
Like, that's fine.
I mean, I told that to... So, I would do the same with New World Compendium as well, but Storms and Sivian, they are not up for recording for 17 hours at an episode.
Yeah.
But I was like, I mean, they were like, well, I mean, we can record... I was like, don't tell me that. Tell me what your limit is. Otherwise, I'm going to record for 4 hours. I have no stop button.
That's just it. This is just the perfect storm of 3 people who tend to not pay enough attention to the time.
Yeah. So As long as people are enjoying it. See, even Yak in chat, long episodes are nice to listen to at work. There you go. That's
Right.
why. I mean, just a tangent added, I don't know, another 3 minutes. So.
Oh, I mean, it's not really news, but we can shout out Robots Radio, since essentially we're like,
right.
partners
Yes,
in
so
crime with that
everyone-
really funny iTunes chart.
Oh yeah.
So robots regularly check. I still don't know where to check that thing, by the way. Robots regularly check Robots Radio shows and post like Mass Effect Lorecast is here, Cyberpunk Lorecast is here, ESO Lorecast is here. I'm like, where do you check this? How does Apple even work? I don't know. But yeah,
Does
so
Apple even work?
yeah, I hate Apple with everything.
Oh,
I
they're
have.
trash.
So in the top 100 gaming podcast charts, Elder Scrolls Lorecast, ESO Lorecast, which Lotus joins with Robots Radio, Tom, is 84th, and Tales of Tamriel is 86th. And there is this one Minecraft show in between us, keeping us from hugging each other on the top charts. And I'm not amused. And even the show is called like a Minecraft show or something like that.
Yeah.
A Minecraft guide.
A
okay,
Minecraft
so
guide.
There
even
is
more
a
generic.
Minecraft guide between us. So if you just, I don't know, sneak in a couple ratings or something so we can hug
Right.
Lorecast. Or
If you haven't
better-
rated either of our ridiculous shows, please give us 5 stars.
yeah, better yet,
I
go.
think that helps the algorithm.
Yeah, listen
Although it
to-
bounces around all the time. Like
Yeah, it
I
does,
check,
it
I
does.
don't really check them too often, but sometimes like if I ever click the like search button, I'll just see where shows that I'm friends with or on are just on the list. It's like, oh, hello. Like, but yeah, it was just very funny to see like both of these shows literally like just separated by one spot on the top 100 chart.
Yeah. So if you do listen to our shows, both ESO Lorecast and us on iTunes, so if you are a proud owner of an Apple that I hate, do give us your ratings. We'll read them on the show, and it'll bring us at a higher rank in the topic. And as we always say at the end of the shows, it will let people know that we are a real podcast and we say words and they matter. So yeah, both of us get us to, first of all, let's get rid of that Minecraft show between us, and then get both of us, both the ESO Lorecast and us, up there, and then go to Red Diamond Courier
Yup.
and bring them up next to us, and then find
Written in
wherever lore seekers are.
Lore
then we'll have, like-
seekers, like pile us all up there.
Yeah, Scroll Talk, find Scroll Talk.
They're not on iTunes because iTunes is mean to them, and I don't know
What?
why.
Why?
As far as I know, Noble still. I listen to Scroll Talk on Spotify just because for the longest time, for some reason, Noble cannot get iTunes to approve him.
See, I told you I hate Apple.
Look, this is basically my way of having nonviolent resistance to Apple products. This is an iPhone 6S, and it's still technically in one piece enough. There's a lot of parts of it falling off and a broken screen. But my protest to them is refusing to buy any coherent phone from this century.
There you go. There you go.
You must really hate yourself.
It's gotten stepped on a lot.
Oh my god.
Boots stopped once on a run, and had we just kept running, it would have been fine, but I stopped because I didn't want to tug on her leash either. She was interested in like a blade of grass or something like that. So I stopped with her because I was like, no, because I didn't want to like, tug on her. And as a result, when I abruptly stopped, I stomped directly on the screen. Just like right in the middle of the screen. I was like, well, that's great. So
Oh man.
it's the oldest phone. If you look at the chart, it is the oldest phone that can functionally play Elder Scrolls Blades. Anything prior to my phone cannot physically play Elder Scrolls Blades.
My Xbox Game Pass renewed. I didn't want to renew it. I wasn't using it. I
Rip.
forgot. I looked at my phone to show that Proud Android, although it's like 5 years old now, in perfect condition, Lotus. So if you take care of your phone,
mine is not.
I don't know what on earth I do to phones because everybody else is like, oh, my Android phone's fine. I killed so many Android phones.
Look, you give me technology, I'll find a way to kill it.
There is a clip of, if I remember correctly, on the channel, there's a clip of you mentioning this, and either before or immediately after dropping your phone. We lived through this before, Pixie.
Okay,
I don't know how
don't drop my phones.
We know what you do to your phones.
I usually don't drop my phones. I think the issue with what I did with Android phones was I would run DS games on them all the time. And then the first thing I would do with any new Android phone was immediately go download Dolphin Emulator and see if it could play Wind Waker.
Amazing.
I was very mean to my phones. I did find one that could successfully play Super Mario Sunshine, though. And that was the last Android phone I owned.
Well, there you go. See, and who says we get off on tangents instantly?
Yeah.
But I've had my iPhone 11 Pro for 2 years, and I still get full day battery life, and it hasn't given me any problems. Whereas my Samsung phones, since I abused them, died on me very quickly in like a year.
I don't know what you all do to your phones. I had this Galaxy S7 for like I bought it at 2016 or 17. I don't remember exactly. In the meantime, my brother had to swap 3 phones, including this one. Mine is still going strong. What do you guys do to your phones?
So, as a gauge, if I don't run mine in emergency battery saver mode, I can use my phone for about an hour.
Oh my god.
And you're okay with this?
I believe that if you know how you can check like battery life type of thing, like of maximum I believe it's at 27% if it's a regular capacity.
Well, get a new battery.
Nah, you can't do that with iPhones. You gotta get a whole new one.
So you can actually take it to Apple, and I think or like you break iFix, and they'll replace the battery for you.
I mean,
if Lotus brings that phone to an Apple store, they will beat the hell out of him in there.
Yeah, they'll just slap me with the phone and be like, "What is the matter with you? Like, what is the matter with you?"
It's like bringing in a DPS who got hit by 7 million damage by a boss attack to a healer. And like, can you heal this? At that point, Lotus doesn't need a phone repairman. He needs a necromancer for that phone.
I don't know what it is. I'm just so cheap with phones. If
you don't use it, who cares?
Them aggravates me.
Yeah.
See, and here I am. I was just saying, like, right before I started streaming today, I was just like, man, I can't wait for the iPhone 13 to come out. I want a new toy.
Oh, yeah. No.
Pixie
spitefully hang on to these.
You stand against everything we stand on the show. Jesus.
Hey, listen, I was good. I skipped the 12 because it wasn't enough of an upgrade, even though I have like the iPhone every year plan or whatever. I skipped it. So I'm getting the 13 because I was a good girl and I deserve it.
Where's that image to replace? Hold on. Replace your flag with the...
Don't do it. Don't you do it, Ark.
Where is it?
I seem to have
deleted it. You are safe this time. You are safe this
Good.
time. Probably somewhere on my desktop, though.
Oh, God.
Okay, there you go. That's our off-topic tangent for this episode.
I was going to say
at least the first of them. I do not guarantee that there won't be another one. We kept it to like 10 minutes. We've been good.
Yeah. Phone talk. Look, I mentioned Blades. That's on topic. Yeah. There have been no Blades updates.
That was one thing I was sad about my phone, that I couldn't play Blades. It just
really like Blades.
It was really laggy.
I still like Blades, but like when I log in, I've beaten everything in Blades. So like I can play PvP or I can just run quests to get gear, but as mentioned, I'm geared enough to beat all the content, and I'm still sitting on I think $380 worth of gems from winning that Bethesda contest.
Jeez. Did they stop development completely of Blades as well, along with Elder Scrolls Legends? What is happening to Blades?
It's still so Legends is basically just in maintenance mode, but Blades does get up, but they just, what it is it's been like little quality of life updates. They still run different things, but it hasn't had a content patch in quite a while. And they don't really do the town crier thing or whatever it was, that the town hall thing. So I don't know if it's just kind of like there's something down the line, or they're just kind of like leaving it as is. So, but it's been a while since a noteworthy content patch where I had any new quests or anything like that to do.
Right. Well, all right, Tails. So I did actually play ESO for like a total of 1 hour last week. So what I did was, at some point, Ophelia messaged me, and she was like, "Are you available on 20th to tank Veteran Arthurian Archive for Dawn Whisper and her guild?" I was like,
"Oh yeah,
I can do that."
I forgot about this,
because I have a weak spot for when someone calls for a tank. I'm like, duty calls. So I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And it's always fun running with that crew as well. Honestly, Bethesda UK team, fantastic. I love them. Love hanging out with them. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. And then I realized 20th is when the New World Closed beta actually starts. And the trial is scheduled like just a couple hours after the servers go live. So I was like, okay, we gotta do this fast. I brought out my A game, powerful assault, battalion defender with the other tank having Yolnakrin, and I don't remember his third set. So we are full damage mode, bursting through it. We got it pretty well. We never wiped. I think we had a few deaths.
Sure, a few deaths you can't really. Yeah. That's very hard to control, even with a good group. The odds that somebody might drop from something like standing in something stupid is pretty hard to avoid. Whereas, not wiping is a pretty good benchmark.
So one thing I had happen that I never had happen before. You know that Stone Atronach boss that stomps the ground, like sort of like a boiler factory thing? So I was the off tank, so I was grabbing the ads, and the ads kept running into the boss and disappearing because there's no collision for the ads in the boss. They don't technically disappear but they run into the boss, and then I run after them into the boss. So I had to tank them the whole time inside the boss. I never had that happen before. My plan was to keep them next to the boss so they could get AoE down. But at some point they ran in him, and I was just inside the Stone Atronach trying to tap target the ads so that I don't taunt the boss by mistake because I'm inside his collider.
Right.
I was just chilling there trying to see the ads from like the boss's model. That was strange. I had never had that happen before. I don't know how I managed that.
That's very weird because one of the things, I mean, it's because of the hitboxes, but oftentimes, like if I tank that boss as an off tank, it looks like you should be able to like throw your chains through, like when it like separates to do its like stomp thing. There's so much space. It looks like you should be able to chain through there, but that's not how the hitbox works. So you can't.
Yeah. Well, I was able to while I was inside him though. That's the thing. Like I was completely encompassed in the boss,
so you could like,
and
shoot
I was
out
taunting
of the
ads inside the boss. Basically, that was strange. I don't know.
The real, I mean, not that doing that with two tanks is like bad or anything like that, or that there's a correct way to do that plays. But that's actually one of the few trials that you can solo tank that whole thing. Yeah. Which is the most efficient way because you get a whole other damage person.
The one thing the second tank, in my opinion, as is during the last phase with the axes, because I would really like, as a tank myself, I would really not like to tank and the boss with those axes because those axes don't hurt. Annoying. They drain your stamina by constantly like slapping you in the face. It's just block. Because on normal, there is 4 of them. On hard mode, I think there's more. I don't remember.
So it's time-based.
Right. Oh, okay.
So the most I've ever had was 6.
Yeah, same.
One of the other people that I've run a whole bunch of tagging stuff with, they had a pug and they got 8 at one point.
Oof.
They were like, the burn was abhorrent and everybody kept dying. They were like, I could barely move because it was just like clank, 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 clank. It's like I couldn't do anything because I was just completely slathered in axes.
So I do prefer a second tank there, and I'm generally always the one who's holding the axes in that dungeon. I think I've always been the one that holds the axes in there. I hate them. The reason I hate
the
them,
axes, it's so annoying.
So their collision is absolute garbage, and
yes,
their center is sort of like on the ground. So when they swing, they get up, like completely go out of the screen, sort of stretch to the sides. But their collision is still where they originally are. It's just that their model completely goes off screen to swing at you.
Yep.
So if you lose them, trying to get them back or not taunting the boss by mistake is nightmare. Like, well, I hate them.
I don't know. And sometimes I've had some runs with like clips from them, just from like, you know, providing VODs to my team and stuff like that, where it's been pretty funny. Like if they ever go back in and whack somebody, and I'm like, dude, it's got 11 seconds on the taunt timer, and it's just like, nah, man, and it just like leaves and goes and hits somebody else. I was like, dude, what are you doing? That's not how this works.
I think they are getting over taunted sometimes because their collision sucks. You are thinking you are hitting the leftmost one, but in fact you are hitting something behind you or something. I don't know. I hate their collision.
I generally have to do, because taunting them individually is a super pain in the ass, like you said, and it burns the resources.
Yeah.
One thing, once you get them all clustered on you, if you use deep breath, it's the AoE. That's how I kind of keep them on me.
Oh, you can keep them. Okay.
Yeah, that hits all of them so that they kind of stick to you better.
Okay. I should try that.
It gives you a shorter time, I believe, is on it. But either way, it's like it will keep them stuck once you've got them. It's kind of like a little AoE taunt type of deal for them.
All right. Next time I'm in there,
makes it a little
I'll
easier, but it's still annoying. It's one of my least favorite things to tank.
So another thing I proudly did during the trial was, while Ophelia was explaining mechanics, I put on my Nordic bat towel and I found where Dawn Whisper's camera was pointed at on the stream, and I did my proud Redguard dance to the hundreds of people that Dawn was streaming to during the roleplays ESO, and I'm happy with that. The Stinky Nord, they may call me, but I did it again.
Amazing.
So yeah, I'm happy. That was my top ESO moment in the past
crowning
month.
achievement.
yeah, crowning achievement. So take that with your 40,000 something achievement points.
I did sexy time dancing in front of World Plays ESO.
I actually got, so during the official preview stream of Gates of Oblivion, remember how they had tweets popping up on screen if you tagged something along with it? Like the bot automatically pulled images from Twitter and slapped it on the official stream. Well, guess what's there? A naked Nord doing the Redguard dance.
God.
With the Tales of Tamriel tag.
Nailed it.
So yeah, I've managed to sneak my naked Nord doing the Redguard dance into a lot of official streams. Quite many of them. Ophelia streams, even when she was doing it on Bethesda. Actually, when I was tanking on official Bethesda channel for Ophelia, I sneaked in a sneaky naked Redguard dance in there. So now I did the Dawn. I need to find Kay sometime. Do it do it with Kay too. Yeah, so slowly going up to everyone who's streaming on EU side of Elder Scrolls Online and doing the Redguard dance. That's my top achievement. The streamer conqueror achievement. Do naked Nord Redguard dance on every stream. Yeah. that's about it for me though. So I don't know when I'll have Tails again. Probably when the new dungeons release, and as the Untaunted, we roll back into them to clear their hard modes as well. But until then, Pixie, what about you? What have you been doing?
So I have now found myself in 2 trial prog groups. We're doing VCR prog in one group with the Perfect Row, and then another Perfect Row group that's now doing VK hard modes.
Sorry, I was so confused when you say we are doing it at Perfect Row, because I was like, what does Perfect Row give as a buff that you need in a trial?
Sorry, the guild name.
Isn't that an experience thing?
Yes, that's the way we're progging it. We're just all running just
as much ambrosia as possible.
No foods or drinks, just ambrosias.
And just ambrosia.
Yep. So we actually, last night, or no, Thursday night, we did a really clean clear of VCR +1 with Reliquin. Went super smooth. I was super proud of myself, because usually whenever the bar swap mechanic comes up, I get very confused and end up stuck on my damage bar and just have to cross my fingers and hope everybody lives if I forgot to throw a heal on that bar, which I did. I actually timed it correctly and bar swapped appropriately so that I could stay on my heal bar during that whole thing, which was really, really nice. Still working with the Roaring Opportunist set, which I'm still fairly new to. It's just a different setup, lots of heavy attacks, so everything just feels weird to me still. But it's not as bad as I was initially expecting, which I think I talked about that last week. But it's been really, really fun running with them because they're super patient, really great at explaining things. The people in the group have been super helpful, and they've noticed some things that I can do to improve and give me. I'm very good at just following specific directions if I'm given specific directions. And so I'm learning a lot and having a blast with them. Other than that, the Pan Elsewhere celebration started here recently. And so I've been logging in every day to get my tickets, because the Quasi Griffin mount, I forget, the Dagonic Quasi Griff or whatever it's called, I want it. I need it.
The Wingless Griffin.
Yeah.
Yes. I have to have it. So I've been obsessively getting my tickets. I really love Northern and Southern Elsewhere, so it's been a good time. I've rediscovered my love for screenshotting dragons. And so then tonight, as part of the event, since there's double drops in Sunspire, somebody from Perfect Row, actually the raid lead for our VCR group, DM'd me and was like, or he popped into Twitch chat, was like, oh, you guys want to do a quick VSS run? I'm like, sure. So jumped in with them. We did get somebody from my Twitch chat, Jimoraf. He got his skin. So it was his first time in there on Vet. Nice. And I always love it whenever somebody gets their skin, whenever they're running in a group that I'm in. It's just super exciting, because that was the first Vet trial I ever completed. So it's really cool to get somebody else through that as well. And I was lucky enough to get into the trial during nighttime in game, which means the trial is just absolutely gorgeous the entire time. So I may or may not have been taking screenshots.
I still haven't seen a full run of Sunspire. Not even video or anything of it.
You need to get in there. It's a really fun trial, and it's really not that difficult as far as like vet trials go. Like if
As long as the only real holdup, I mean, off tanking in there on vet is kind of a pain in the ass. But main tanking, as long as you don't desync, it's really, really not bad. If you desync so that his bite goes out of, I don't know if this is probably just a fucking console thing, but I don't know, as I'm explaining this, I'm like, you're not going to deal with this on PC. This is a console thing. Who am I kidding? But they can get like out of sync so that the fire dragon, I think ice dragon less so because he doesn't bite as hard, but the dragon will bite, except it won't match the animation to the damage anymore.
Oh no.
So you'll hear chomp and he'll stare at you, and then it comes in, and then the AoE spawns under you. But if
Oh,
at any
God.
point you were activating a buff, you can't go on his animations at that point because the chomp is a surprise somewhere in that
God.
situation. So if your block goes down, it chomp insta bites you for like 67,000 damage and insta kills you.
Jesus.
So yeah, so
What? Wait,
It's just-
67,000? Then
yeah.
you need to use my sneaky damage shield. No block
Well, yeah, I
version.
mean-
Just do bone shield, defensive stance, heavy attack to get stamina back. Bone shield, defensive stance, heavy
well,
attack to get
theoretically,
stamina.
you could do that. The easiest way is just being able to see when he's going to bite me. It's really
Yeah,
it's
well,
pretty great.
Here's how you know whether if it's a console only problem or not. Does it happen on your PS5?
I have not run Sunspire yet, so that's why. It's like
You can
that's
check
what I'm-
like that.
Exactly. I assume it's a last gen console thing because
Probably.
I'd be curious if I would see that on the PS5 because
I
I've
mean-
learned VCR is just not the same trial on the PS5.
I mean, it's a perfect time to jump back into VSS.
I know.
If
I
you wanna
actually want to
test
get
it.
some runs. Yep. I really do because I haven't run VSS in a while. And I actually don't have those hard modes done, I don't think. I know I don't have all of them.
I love VSS. That's probably my favorite trial so far because the dragons are just so awesome, and it's also the one I'm most comfortable with because I've done it so many times now.
Sure.
So I was group healer, so nothing I'm not used to. Took some pictures while I was in there. I was really happy with. Other than that, I did some random normals because the weekly endeavor thing this time is do 7 dungeons. So I did a couple, and I'm gonna have to wake up tomorrow and immediately start doing dungeons again because it like resets tomorrow night. So that's going to be how I spend my day tomorrow. So I'm gonna be an ESO doing that. I'm trying to think. I think that's just about it. Everything else was just doing event stuff because I really like the elsewhere motifs and everything. So I've been just kind of working through that. Fighting some dragons again, which is nice.
Have you gotten any good drops? I know some. I assume the price will go down somewhat, but I'm pretty sure the Shield of Senshell stuff is still
That's
worth
a really
like a
nice
ton
motif.
of money.
It's worth money. I've been deconning it. Oh no.
Wait, what?
No, the motifs. The motifs.
Oh, the motifs.
I
Okay, I thought
Oh
you
yeah,
meant
no.
like
You
the-
break.
was like,
break the
how
crap.
do you
You break-
decon a motif?
That's what I was like. Oh wait,
I wanna say there's
the
like,
motifs. Yeah.
I thought you meant the because I know the
No.
Darlock Bray stuff is apparently going like really high too. But
Oh really? Yeah, stuff like that I can't follow the market enough for. It's requires too much effort.
But I mean, I have the lazy add-on that tells me exactly how much everything's worth, but I just like very quickly decon everything. So,
Yeah.
but no, I haven't gotten anything really awesome yet. What I was really hoping for, and one of the main reasons I agreed to the Sunspire run, is I want Sunspire chests so bad because it's such a cool motif, and I need it. I need that motif, and I want to run Vet Sunspire all the time so I can finally get that motif, but no luck.
I don't know what that one looks like offhand. I have
It's
it. I
pretty.
just don't know what it looks like.
Yeah,
I love the
I have
light
no clue.
piece. Hold on. Sunspire chest motif.
I actually don't know
I'm gonna send it
most
to
of
you.
what the Sunspire ones look like. It's
I
one of
just
those
thought
ones
that I
got
would
for
need
the
to
50
edit that keyboard sound, but then I realized it's good that listeners would know that you are Googling
Maybe
something.
we're typing.
So-
It's very valid.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get the thing to load here. Wilson.
Yeah, when they're related
Wow.
to an achievement, I just collect them for the sake of getting the achievement. But then oftentimes I'll like never look at them.
Okay, so I posted the link there in Twitch
Okay.
chat.
Okay, that's helpful because I wouldn't be able to see it on Discord without losing cameras.
Perfect. Oh, okay, I know that one.
I love that one, and I
Yep.
need it. I need
This
it.
is just rags.
Yes, it's a priest outfit type of deal.
But I am a mage.
It's like Yeah, it's like the monk priest setup.
Right.
I know what you're talking about. Yep.
It would make me so happy to have it. I do have the staff though, and the staff is nice, but I need the chest. Because so the thing I like about this is okay, it's a super tiny detail, but to me the tiny details are like everything. So if you look at the chest piece, there are like some ropes that are holding like the cross part together, and then also on the shoulders there's the same ropes, and they're stitching on the opposite side of where the cross part's held together. And I really like the ropes a lot. also those guards with the beaded ropes are really cool. I like the ropes. I'm a big rope fan.
Big fan of rope.
Yeah, it looks really cool, and it makes it look like a super organic thing that you would find in this world, and I like it a lot, and I need it in my life.
It's rags.
It's rags with ropes, though.
It's rope rags.
I want it. I don't care if it looks like rags or not. I won't use it on my main because she needs to have her body markings exposed.
Also, looking at this,
it's cool.
Reminded me once again how much I hate the ugly default green that
my god,
Elder Scrolls Online has. How dare you say, "Oh my god, yeah, you glass armor default green Lotus"?
All right, my glass armor looks majestic, unlike strained peas that somebody smeared on these rags. All right,
At least dye your armor, man. It's been so long. Jeez.
Look. It is a majestic shade of malachite.
Booger.
No, unacceptable.
Somebody it looks like you just got pulled out of Lokesti's nose.
I am wildly offended.
I mean, Lokesti's has a cute little
who's
snoot,
doing
though.
fashion in ESO is wildly offended by your ugly default glass armor.
It is really funny how polarizing my super never changing gear is. I get comments in Zone like of people wondering what armor it is. They're like, that looks so cool. What is that? And I'm like, what? I was like, this is like the first motif in the game, dude. Like,
Yeah, no
what are
one
you
uses
talking
it because
about?
it's ugly. And
It's
people
so
are
old,
amazed
dude.
that it's so rare. Well,
And
it's
then,
not
yeah.
rare, but it's so ugly that no one
It's
uses
not rare
it.
at all. And then
It's rare to see because everybody hates it.
Yeah, especially when it's not dyed like that. It's just with the default colors.
Other people from Twitch who are like, oh my god, it's the worst. It's like, it's so. I'm proud to be the most polarizing part of the Fashion Scrolls community.
Man, one day if I ever get to work at ZAS, I'm gonna find a way to force change your costume.
Oh,
Just
no,
like-
just wait. Just wait.
Just gonna join the support team of ZAS, send a fake ticket from you to myself. Like, please change my armor, I'm stuck. And I'm just gonna delete it. And then send a response to you back.
I have met one other person who would run full glass motif, and he was a guy that was in my guild on Xbox that I would run with all the time, and we just called him the giant booger every single time he would run with us. That's how we referred to him.
You all just
You're a
aren't
giant
cultured
booger,
enough
Lotus.
for glass armor. It's fine. That's what I need for a new emote. I need just a giant piece of malachite, and I just spam it in all your chats.
Oh, God, don't do this.
I don't like
We want to
this.
know what a giant piece of malachite would look like as an emote? Booger.
Actually, it kind of probably would look like slime. Because it'd just be this broken, like, green thing. All right, so maybe that's not the best way of proving my point.
Yeah. Even you know. But you're just stubborn.
Details.
Anything else, Pixie?
Nope, that's about it.
Then Lotus, it be your time.
All right, well,
And it's Battlespire for us.
I was going to say, in usual fashion, I suppose I'll talk about anything that's good first, because everybody just prefers the torture and the tragedy. One thing that I did want to mention that we alluded to earlier was the issue with the dailies for, what do you call it? The event, the Pan Elsewhere celebration. For the world boss, and I it might be more of them, but specifically the one that I've run into is the world boss where you fight the guy, the cat dude who
Gout thing.
I saw that arc that you're trying to change the colors.
For audio listeners, I tried to change Lotus's camera to green, like add a green filter to it, but it changed all of our cameras, so it didn't work. I was gonna do something for the live audience, but I failed.
I caught that. What was that? Oh, yeah. So the teacher with their students, basically, cat teacher, prone to killing a lot of randoms because it's a lot of damage output really quick. Whatever. There's a billion people doing this event, so it does not matter. However, the boss quests in ESO for repeatables, which is what you're trying to do for the event, is kill said boss and collect or destroy or do something with some type of ancillary thing.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, it's collect bags of rice, was the one that I ran into. And the problem that I have with it is you need to collect 3 bags of rice and kill the boss. The boss will be up for like 0.8 of a second before the 50,000 people nuke him. That's fine. Just got to get any damage and it counts. The issue comes with the bags of rice are not instanced to your character.
Yep.
So out of all the people there, anyone can grab the bags of rice, and they're not on a fast timer. So it basically makes it into a drawn out thing. So if you're missing the rice bags, you're not crazy. It's just very poorly designed, I guess, because there's too many people that like. I cannot fathom why it would not be instance. It's infuriating. So
one of the reasons I've spoken against the events in Elder Scrolls Online many times, that they were too frequent and that things were just not spawning fast enough to enjoy the event, because most of the event would just be waiting around for things to spawn. And this is just yet another case of it.
Right.
And it's still not addressed. Well, they kind of addressed it in some other places.
A lot of the
like
other ones
Rothgar.
aren't an issue, exactly. But there are some that are lingering and should be addressed.
Yeah.
Or your suggestion too, even if you want it to be like that, amp the spawns through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. Like, there's a cooldown timer, so even if you're killing the same boss over and over and over and over and over and over again, you're not going to get more loot until your 3-minute timer cooldown has dissipated. So it's not even ruining the experience if they spawn every 12 seconds. Like, you're not cheapening the farm or whatever. So like, there's really no... I really think that would be a neat idea. It's just like, okay, spawn timers, jack them up for these events, and then just put them back to normal when it's more reasonable. Because it's the same thing with new zones. When a zone first launches, the crowds destroying these things are just so brutal. So
yeah,
it's just, I don't know. It definitely would like that if that was addressed. I've actually started going through some of Blackwood. No spoilers, so I'm not going to go into anything really. I got to find, I won't even say who I found, but a bunch of returning characters, very cool. And I got to do a couple Daedric Prince quests, whether or not I realized they even became Daedric Prince quests. There's one for Nocturnal, which was really fun, and my personal favorite Daedric Prince, and the total winner, as based on science.
You swayed everyone.
Look, all right, it was science, and it's canon that Hermaeus Mora totally is the greatest. But that aside, I found, yes, I did from in chat. Yeah, I totally found the Hermaeus Mora quest. Really cool nod. Need more Hermaeus Mora. Always need more Hermaeus Mora. So big fan of those. I really liked those quests. But yeah, I don't want to go too much in any of that because I don't want to spoil anything for anybody.
Yeah.
But that quest specifically took a very weird turn that I did not expect, involving characters that people really like in the community.
Oh.
I was like, wow, that was not where I saw that quest going at all. So
like in
definitely,
a good way or in like
a good way. I thought it was actually like really cool. I really liked how it ended. I was like,
I want to say regarding Hermaeus Mora, if Lotus says it's in a good way, it's probably in a really bad way for a normal person regarding Hermos Mora.
People in chat are saying they liked the quest too.
All I know is all those characters that, you know, people in the community like, whoever they are, Lotus is mentioning, they could have been sucked into the realm of Herma Mora to be slaved as like bookworms forever. And Lotus would call that a good thing, just so you know. So it might actually be a terrible thing.
Look,
I'm
I
just
will
saying.
say Herma Mora's
Fantastic.
librarians are terrifying.
Oh my
The
god.
Seekers scare
The
me.
I hate
Seekers?
them. They were the most difficult thing in the entire Dragonboard deal. The Mirak himself wasn't a problem, but those freaking
Really?
librarians
And the
were.
What were they called? The lurkers?
The lurkers.
Yeah.
Suck too.
Look, I just want to have a Seeker polymorph, and then I won't have to wear my glass armor anymore
Then
because I
you'll
can
be
just
even
hover around.
uglier.
But I can just hover, providing knowledge and possible tentacle murder. But that's
Who are you going to provide
But-
knowledge to?
the people
don't
I'm
provide-
tentacle murdering.
No, Hermamora doesn't provide knowledge. He just sucks it all up for himself.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they can. Look, if you go to Apocrypha, you can get lots of. Look, the moral of the story is just accept Hermaeus Mora into your
No.
lives.
I mean, I like Hermaeus Mora, but I don't like Seekers. They're creepy.
I stand by it. Dagon would have smacked Hermamora.
What?
Just brute
But
force.
all it would do was just like displace an eyeball or a tentacle, and then just mist would float around. There's no beating Hermaeus Mora.
Dagon's axe is bigger than Hermamora.
He's non-corporeal. He'll just dust.
He would set
I'm gonna
ablaze to
assume-
the books. What else Hermamora does then? He's just probably gonna be very upset that he didn't upload
No.
everything to the cloud and instead
What
going
would
for a
happen?
physical freaking library.
Maybe he's the
Art.
cloud.
Oh,
Here's what would happen. Okay, first of all, good point, Lotus.
that's
why
how
he
you should
holds all the
introduce him
books.
now.
He siphons them all into himself to act as the cloud, and then the books he just keeps there, so that way people can't duplicate the information.
Yeah.
Makes sense. But what I
I
was going to say, if you were to set fire to the books, he wouldn't just be out of luck. What would happen is all of those seekers would come out, start yelling at Dagon, and then the tentacles would come out of the black water and start slapping his ankles, and he'd eventually trip and fall into said black water, and then a lurker would come out of nowhere and start just beating the crap out of him while the tentacles come up and hold him down, and the seekers continuously scream at him until he dies of frustration, just like I did many, many, many times in that place during the Dragonborn DLC.
Okay, that just in my mind popped up. You know that very famous novel with the giant who ends up in, well, or rather a normal human ending up in an island of like very small kingdom. It's very famous, like children's novel type thing. It's the same type of, you know, Journey to the Center of the World type, Jules Verne type book. Well, if you don't know it, it's not gonna mean anything, but that's just what popped into my head when you said like small seekers and small yes, Gulliver's Travels. Thank you.
Oh, Gulliver's
Thank you.
Travel. Wow, I would not have made that connection.
Yeah, you know how he ends up in like this small island, small people
Yes.
island, and they tie
Yep.
him up with
Now I totally
ropes,
know what you're
like,
talking. Yes,
just-
that analogy is actually very hilarious.
Yes.
Now that that's actually yes.
That would be Dagon.
names
Her Memoir's
yeah,
realm.
Yeah.
I also
Dagon's
feel like this
Travels.
could be like some weird, very inappropriate thing as well. If we've got
I've been thinking
Dagon's
the same thing
abs
the entire
and
time.
tentacles everywhere, it's just we're gonna move on.
Well, that children's book is forever ruined.
We're gonna bulldoze right past all of that, since everyone's childhood was just shit on. But yeah, good quests, Blackwood. Woo! And after a few weeks off, we had a little bit of reorganizing, much to, varying degrees of things. There was some burnout in the group. And as I always say, if you're not feeling something, these are games. So take a step back. And we did a little reorganizing for the time being for our dungeon team. But we decided to run again this week. And we dove into the March of Sacrifices. I actually typed it wrong in the notes wrong. I put VMall instead of VMoss. Where we went into March of Sacrifices and managed to knock out the trifecta in there. So I believe we are down to 5 dungeons left in the game that we still need a trifecta in. Which, this isn't the same team, so it kind of doesn't count because we had a different healer for this run. But just for my personal checklist, I think I have 5, and then all that would be left would be to start an Unchained prog, which I don't like Black Rose Prison, so I don't know if we're ever going to do that. But yeah, so knock that one out. I really like that dungeon. I really like that hard mode. So that one isn't actually very frustrating. We did it on the 4th try, with the 3rd time being that I taunted somebody and they looked at me and then uppercutted the shit out of one of the DPSs. I was like, what the hell was that for? It's like, what the? So yeah, that
the boss
that
is
was
like,
pretty
I'm gonna
funny.
get to you, but first.
But first, this sorcerer, nah, man. And it was funny because like we knew it and called it out because it was like, he's not looking at me. He's not dodge roll, and he mistimed the dodge roll. So as he was getting up, he got uppercutted in the jaw. He's like, damn it. Like, so it wasn't even like he screwed it up either. It was just like, okay, that's cool. But yeah, we got it right afterwards because we had refreshed a bit from not running for a couple weeks, so it was fun to do. Got that one knocked out. And then the only other thing that I've done in ESO before delving into excessive Battlespire, was our VCR3 team for Griffin Heart. I haven't really been talking about it that much because we run twice a week, and it is what it is. If we ever get it, I'll let you all know. Otherwise, just assume I didn't get it. There have definitely been, I've mentioned how much better it runs for me on the PS5, and it definitely does. And it seems to, in general, from what I can tell from people that have PS5s as well. But a long-standing concern that I had where I thought that basically ESO was pushing the last-gen consoles to their brink where they physically just couldn't run them anymore. Like, it's like this fumbles through rather than running properly. Seems very on display with some of the problems we have. But separate from that, which I guess is a noted problem, we've done our job and put in support tickets, because if you don't put in your support tickets, if something's screwed up, they won't know about it. So don't mindlessly bitch without at least doing that. You can still complain and be annoyed by it. I am when it happens. But at the same time, these things do happen. So clip the stuff, send it forward. It happens. I don't know. I've had mixed results. Some things I've straight up just seen them fix the following patch. Other times, they're there. It is what it is. So
I was there, Gandalf. I was there 3,000 years ago.
It's not like they work miracles, but it definitely, at least knowing that you sent it, you can reference it when you have further complaints, which makes it a lot easier. And in our situation, I have no idea if this is a console thing, period, or what. But outside of just our group, as we've now been talking with other Griffin Heart Prog teams, seeing if they have similar problems, the synergies in Vet Cloud Rest, as of the last patch, just don't work right anymore on PlayStation.
Right.
On PS4, PS4 Pro, or occasionally PS5. I don't know if it's an Xbox thing or a PC thing, but I definitely know it is a universal PlayStation problem. If you get the Hoarfrost, and sometimes you just don't get the synergy. Other times you get the synergy, and no matter how many times you press it, the game says, congratulations, you're frozen to death, eat it, and you die, which sucks. And when in portals, the problem is when you run over to the like wind gusts that send you up when Zamaja blows up the lower floor, they just don't work. You just never get the synergy. So you stand there and you call out to your team that I'm about to botch the Griffin Heart because you know that you're going to die, and there's literally so much time for it to be processed, and there's nothing you can do about it except basically tell everyone to prepare to reset the instance because I'm going to die, which is normally not the end of the world if you can recover, but when you're going for a trifecta, you literally need perfection. And it brought these things very much to light. It is something to do with the most recent patch, it seems like, because we were not encountering this before, and apparently it's been a thing for a lot of groups. In fact, we talked to another group who got their Griffin Heart, and this sounds ridiculous, but I actually kind of believe them from being in a similar situation. They said when they got to execute and were still flawless, they were trying not to panic based on the fact that they were waiting for the game to not have a synergy work during execute, more than don't screw up execute.
Wow.
Which I'm like, that is unnerving. Does this apply to most people? Absolutely not. It totally doesn't, and I get that. But we have now lost more than one Griffin Heart due to something like this, which is a little bit spirit breaking.
Yeah.
We have plenty of room to improve, so it's not like we have this on farm mode where we're just knocking out Griffin. Like, that's not the case. But there have been several situations where, like, we've been at 18% and somebody just can't drop a Hoarfrost, so they die. And it's just like, well, that's it. That's the end. There is no more, no death, because that happened. Or we had another one where we were about to go into execute. We were on the last portal, and the whole portal team, all three of them, because we were doing 2 DPS and a tank down in portal, all three of them couldn't use the synergy, so we wiped.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
it's strange, like synergy is stopping working. They did change how like you interact with, you know, synergies. And I guess maybe during that they borked something.
I don't know. Thought they were going to
can't
change that for the next DLC.
Oh, actually, that's in PTS notes. Yeah, that's in PTS
changing
notes.
it again. They changed your animations for it. But I thought that was like 2 patches ago, where you didn't make as much of a like flail so that you could interact quicker. But
Luna
I think
and Jen was upset about that, and Kitsu.
Yeah,
they were always racing for my Talons synergy. And now that they don't actually do the animation, they can tell which one used it, and they are sad.
So, I mean, it's one of those things that I felt it was worth mentioning because it is definitely pretty frustrating.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
on that note, I will say that we are, the Empty Soul Gems has been doing pretty well. Like I said, we have plenty of room to improve to make this so that it's like, we just got to get that one run that all clicks. But we managed to get a run where we ended with 33 vitality in 13 minutes. So we're close. We just need that one where everything works, and we'll get it. But yeah, fingers crossed that happens at some point. But yeah, if it doesn't, it doesn't. Ideally, if that gets fixed, it'll kind of just streamline stuff so it'll be a little more back in our court when we screw it up. Because we screwed up plenty, because it's really hard. After completing VCR3 a lot now, that place is a shit show. Holy God, is that place hard. Like, just in general, like, it's just, there's so much happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's pretty much it for ESO, which brings me to
Before
Battlespire.
moving on, in terms of strange bugs, not ESO, but just wanted to mention how in weird ways, things can get broken.
Oh, Lord.
In New World, yesterday, or the day before that, so in New World, in the open world, basically, part of the world, there are dead trees that you can harvest. Just basically chop them down. They're like broken down like fallen
Right.
down trees. They became invisible across the entire game and the entire world.
Oh.
They are still there. You get stuck in them because like you are running and your character stops running, and you can still harvest them.
But you can't see them?
because you get the prompt, and throughout the entire game, they just became invisible. Why? What? How? Who knows?
All right, so before we totally move on, just as one other note, because I have not been playing New World, but I've been watching a lot of people play New World. One thing that I find very funny in New World from Bearded Cheg's stream, who was originally an ESO stream team member, he's been playing it. He was fishing, and the ripple effect on fish is actually tethered to the fish, not the water.
Yeah.
Because when he would pull them out, the ripples would go through his character. And I just thought it was very entertaining.
New World's fishing, though, really great. It's not idle.
Yeah, it looks
like, yeah, so
that
you
looks
actually have to pay attention.
Yeah.
Like, time your hook right, and then you have to reel it in, and then, like, leave it a bit so it, like, give a little bit of leeway, and then reel it
like
back
a
in
fishing
again.
game.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. Okay, Battlespire.
But yeah, anyways, ESO and New World aside, my finale is... Last time I wasn't on the show, so I didn't get to tell people about my Battlespire gameplay, in which I was still in the Chimera of Desolation, which I was able to say a good thing about, which I thought the atmosphere in there was really cool. And I had just basically dealt with Everscamp McLuff Thirst and lost him. He became invisible and I died. And I had no idea what the hell was going on. So I reloaded the game, and as a quick overview, the stream from right before the last show, or right after, I guess, the last show I was on, it was intended to be like a 2-hour stream, 3-hour stream at most. It was 5 hours plus of playing Battlespire. The end result of the scenario is I beat the Chimera of Desolation. All of the shit prior to that was just awful.
This is the stream where you went loud noise warning for headphone users. Right?
Oh, yes. The clip of me going, ugh. Fuck, bro, and got spread all over the place. Yes, that was quite a clip.
That was amazing, is what it was.
Oh my god. Okay, so
speaking of us just shouting out Gina being a streamer.
Yeah, so we just got
Gina
raided
and everyone.
by Gina herself. I was actually planning to raid Gina after we wrap up the show, but she beat us to it.
Yep.
Welcome in, everyone.
Hi, Gina.
Hi, everyone. Welcome.
Actually, hold on. Everyone, you are exactly right on time, because Lotus is just starting telling us about his last adventures in Elder Scrolls Battlespire from 1996. Fair warning, not gonna be family friendly. Just so you know.
Never is.
Yeah.
It never is.
It never is. And actually, yeah, Slaps put in the stupid clip of me getting killed to the Twitch chat. So basically, while in Battlespire, roaming around, I managed to find a hot air balloon, or at least what I thought was a hot air balloon. I guess it was, but it was this balloon on a dock, so I ran over to it. The Herns hunting you, because the wild hunt is currently going on, and I still was trying to get a hold of the Spear of Bitter Mercy, as well as the Cuirass of Savor, or the Cuirass of Savorhide, but it's actually not just a Cuirass of Savorhide, it's a full suit of armor in this game.
So wait, does it go over visually full suit of armor, or does it somehow go over your entire armor slot?
It's 6 pieces.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And they're not made of anything consistent. It's iron and silver and elven. It's just a hodgepodge of crap. But it's apparently just it's Malakath's thing in this game as well. So Rykoth, I know you're in chat. Malakath gets all the credit for the Spear of Bitter Mercy, Scourge, and also the Savior's Hide in Battlespire. That Hircine doesn't exist, from what I can tell.
That is just weird, though. Like,
it's
I wonder
weird.
if was Hircine ever mentioned during Elder Scrolls Arena?
No, none of the Daedric princes except Boethra are, I believe.
I wonder if they added Hircine somehow later into the lore.
I'll be curious when I go through and complete
96.
Daggerfall, if he's in Daggerfall.
Right, yeah.
And yes, Malakath is a total Chad in Battlespire, because I'm not going to lie, without all of the stuff that Malakath is giving me, I would have been dead on like level 2. So, but I grabbed this hot air balloon while avoiding these indestructible herns, and I'm thinking that like when you use this hot air balloon, it will just bring you to a different location on the map. Nope. It is a very slow moving vehicle that you need to control in a 3D plane. The side effect of anything 3D in Elder Scrolls Battlespire is if you touch the ceiling, the game crashes. So, that's a problem. It also can crash if you are too low to the ground, which is a big issue. It's also really fucking slow, so that sucks.
How do you land?
Do you want my answer, or do you want to know how to really do it?
I want your answer.
My answer was,
both.
I just basically smashed the keyboard until I fell out of it. I have no idea. I think there was a keybind for it somewhere. I don't know. It disappeared when I went to go back for it. It was just gone, so I don't know whatever happened to it. But while I was floating across the area, I was very concerned about going up too high. So while I'm floating in this stupid thing at this like hovering castle, I was like, well, that must be how I get there. I need to float to that. So I'm floating to that, and I'm looking around because it's so slow. And while I was doing that, I was just like, man, this is a terrible vehicle. Like, mounts have gotten so much better in games like ESO. This handles like garbage. And then I exploded. Because I was too low to the ground, and all of the enemies on the Chimera had been forming, like chasing me as if I was moving, and I was so slow, they were basically just forming this giant pile underneath me and just hurling all of their magic at me. So it just universally beat the crap out of me.
It reminds me of that Morrowind gif where the guy is like naked Dunmer's getting chased by 7 million cliff riders, but it's reverse. Instead of you on the ground, everything is above. This time you are above. Everything is on the ground.
Pretty much. That's actually a really apt way of explaining that, because that's what it basically was. But basically, I fudge my way over to this island. I hover into this like castle. It looks like this medieval castle, and I sort of land. Basically, I crash into the ground, and there's a ton of enemies, so I'm fighting all this garbage off. The balloon, like I said, just disappears. I don't know if it exploded or what, but it was gone. So I was like, cool, I'm stranded here as well, which is awesome, because you take way too much fall damage if you ever fall off anything. So I was like, that'll probably kill me. So I kill off those things. I look around the houses. I find maybe a key. I don't exactly remember. But I did find a way to let the drawbridge down. So I was like, cool, I'm not trapped. I guess they did think this out. Like, it's awesome. So I get that out. I'm out of the castle. There's the final door. It basically says you don't have enough keys to enter here. So I'm like, okay, this is the end of the level. Like, here is my end game, is to get back here. So I go back around. I'm wandering around aimlessly, and I find a hut. And I go inside, and there's an old man in there. And it's the guy that I was referring to as, he was writing the letters C, And it was Old Man Chimera, which is the person I was looking for. And I was like, awesome. I totally found this guy. And I talked to him, and all he does is gurgle. And I was like, this voice acting, man. Like, so I leave the dialogue and I talk to him again. And it turns out that he was really so old and crazy from being trapped here for so long that he forgot how to speak.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
so you have to kind of prod him to get him to talk, and he slowly starts forming more words and then starts making conversation with you, which he is a lunatic, a complete and utter madman.
I mean,
And
expected.
So I'm
I
guessing
mean, if the Daedra cursed you to live forever in a desolated island by yourself, surrounded by weird, like, scamp mech lust ever thirst guy, you would go lunatic as well.
So here's the thing. He is jokey and goofy and ridiculous. His story, I've made reference to the fact that Battlespire goes from jokey to dark a lot. The story to the Chimera of Desolation and its really weird, creepy vibe that I said is a positive to Elder Scrolls Battlespire. His story is dark as hell. And it finally happened. I got my Battlespire reference to the current situation of Blackwood involving Dagon.
There we go.
Oh.
It took you how many hours?
I think I'm on 36.
36 hours of suffering Battlespire from 1996 just to get this reference to the current chapter of Elder Scrolls Online. Now, if that's not dedication, folks.
So, Old Man
or
Chimera,
something else, by the way.
Chimera. We're going to call him Old Pappy C because I don't really know how to pronounce his last name. He, during the events of Arena, where Jägerbomb Tharn is posing as the Emperor and all of that's going down, and then Dagon assaults the Battlespire. Well, this guy decided to make a deal with Dagon in which he was going to basically try to double-cross Dagon with the Spear of Bitter Mercy, which apparently, similar to Scourge, can just smoke all Daedra. Like, you could just poke somebody with the Spear of Bitter Mercy and they're wrecked, including Daedra princes, it seems like.
What?
Yes, so there's a little different lore going on, and this is just kind of like
I want to bring up to Lehman.
Yeah,
just
so
to see, like, if this was ever retconned or if this is...
Feel like they threw most of this lore in the trash. But overview of his story is he wants to try to basically get all this power from Dagon because Dagon's going to help him run amok. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Except then he was going to give him the old jab and basically get himself out of needing to deal with Dagon and leave with all the superpower. So he, I guess, does. Like, he kind of succeeds. And Dagon, while getting messed up, was like, oh, no, you're not getting the best of me. I'll show you and I'll show everyone you've ever loved. And what he does is he takes this island, which was part of Nirn, rips his home island with his family and friends, and chucks them into the void, which is where they are. And that's why it gets renamed the Chimera of Desolation. Because his island, with everyone, is hurled out of the plane of existence into the void, where apparently they go into description of the ability for mortals to do that is not a thing, so they were torn apart while this was happening.
Oh my god.
And then the remnants of them were murdered by a plague that he also left on the island. So they're real dead. And his reward was he was given eternal life to forever live in the void with what he did to everything he ever loved. And I'm like, dude, that's messed up. Like,
that's the true nature of Daedric princes, though.
I know.
I mean, we are sort of seeing them in a lighter light, I guess, in recent Elder Scrolls games, especially with Elder Scrolls Online, with community being more cheery about it and making memes that we also participate in, and the game's not really, at least at the moment, getting into that depressing, that heavy side of their original nature. But if you think about it, there's a reason Daedric princes are Daedric princes. Yeah, they are not they are evil. I mean,
right.
We did in the base game see a Daedric prince take people, entire communities, and yeet it into a plane of oblivion, but it wasn't quite to that level.
It's not as spiteful.
Void. Yeah.
Like, this was basically like, oh, you'll upstage me? Not if I upstage you worse. It's like, wow, that is vindictive, Dagon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So when I reached this guy, he had been there for several hundred years since this apparently has happened because time's supposedly different in Oblivion, which I guess kind of fits.
Yeah.
But this dude has been crustifying, just chilling in his shack alone, immortal. And he's gone completely insane. And I asked him where to get the Savior's Hide, as well as I need this spear in order to kill the guy who's cheating in the Great Hunt by holding the final key that I need, and he's invincible. And instead, he tells me to go look for his spoon, which I went out and looked for the stupid spoon for a while, and I found like a couple more pieces of gear that I needed, and I go back, and instead of, so it has an option where it's like, I can't find your spoon. Like, this is stupid, pretty much. Like, and his response is, I didn't tell you to go look for a spoon. What the hell are you talking about? I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, I told you to go find my children. And I was like, no, you didn't. That's not what you said at all. He's like, no. He's like, yeah, my children are here. Go outside and find them. I think there's 1,000 of them, or maybe 2,000. And I'm like, this is never mind. Like, okay, I see where this is going. You're crazy. Got it. So I argue with him about him not having 1,000 children. And again, I'm not a good hero. Like, if that wasn't clear from the previous adventures in Battlespire, I'm a crap hero. And a pretty poor battle mage as well, with the amount I die in this game. Basically, this dude rambles about like, no, they totally are. And to basically get him to pay attention, I'm like, everyone you love is dead. Like,
oh, wow.
You don't have any children outside. And I'm like, dude, like, how is this where I'm going for this? And he gets sad and realizes like, okay, yeah, actually, I'm kind of remembering what happened. And I'm like, I'm glad you're snapping out of it because maybe we'll make some progress. And he's just like, oh, yeah. And that's where it goes into his really screwed up story of what happened to him. Like, ew, boy, that got grim. But he's like, at least I remember this stuff now. Here's some of the pieces. You got to bring me this. So I go rambling about in the Chimera of Desolation. And it just goes on and on and on. And I grab all this garbage. And I've got 5 of the 6 keys after this slog, which I need 6. I know the 6th one is on the final dude. He's the huntsman. But the huntsman is invincible without the Spear of Bitter Mercy. I've got the case that the Spear of Bitter Mercy is in, and I'm like, open the case, bro. And his response to me is, well, no, because if you poke yourself with it, you'll blow yourself up. My theory is, what if I just don't poke myself with it because I'm not a clumsy oaf? But then I remembered I'm playing Battlespire and I am a clumsy oaf and I probably will poke myself with it. So I guess this is justified. And I have 5, either 5 of 6 or 4 of 5 of the pieces of Savior's Hide. And I'm like, and I'm looking at the map. It's all uncovered. I've gone into the waterfall full of harpies. or seducers, dark seducers. You could go in the waterfall. That was a glitched out mess. At that point, Ophelia had come by and she was wondering what I had decided to do, that I hated myself this much to play this, because I was long jumping across a chasm to try to get onto a windmill, which had nothing inside it. So it didn't even amount to anything. But I fell through the floor in there a couple times. It's just, okay, I didn't even realize there was a clip of that. So I'm out of places to look for, and I'm still missing a piece. So I just start roaming around, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to swim. I swim at Mach speed. That'll get me around. Maybe I missed an island on the outside of this place. So I dive into the water and I just start swinging around the island. And I've mentioned the swim speed being nonsense. I read chat for a second and swum so far off the map, my cursor was showing up outside the map grid. And I was like, why would you ever go that fast? But whatever, I fudged my way back in. And I'm swimming around. I can't find squat. Most of the enemies are dead at this point. I'm like, I don't know. Have I screwed this up? And as I'm swimming, all of a sudden I see a dock. And I'm like, oh my God, I've never been here. It was under the floating island. I was like, okay, we're making progress here. It was out back behind the floating island. But there was a rock formation under the floating island so that it was basically covered from the mainland so you wouldn't see it, because of why not? Like, just sure. So I swim out to it. I jump on the dock. There's a couple enemies. I kill them off. There's a boat in the dock. I go into I was like, it's got to be in here. Like, this is obviously where it is. And I go inside, and there's a couple frost daedra, and I kill them, and there's nothing there. And I'm like, this can't be happening. And chat started looking it up for me because I was concerned that I did something wrong. And this is a level where I'm limited, where I could game break everything, and that's the end. And I'm looking around and I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, this has to be it. Why would they make this entire portion of the map with no purpose?
Because Elder Scrolls Battlespire?
Yes. That is the answer, because Elder Scrolls Battlespire. Because where the actual last piece of Savior's hide was, the helmet, it wasn't on the boat. It wasn't on the dock. It was on a ramp that brings you up from this magical, like, lift up to the back of the castle that's floating, outside the wall, and on a rock. Because that's where it is instead.
Of course.
Which I only even knew that the platforms raised up because I was so annoyed, I just started jumping on things. And one of them started to go up, which killed me because I wasn't expecting it. And I was like, oh, and I like jumped off and killed myself. So I went back, got the thing, super psyched, run back to Big Poppy C here, and he is like, yep, you got all this shit you need. Here, I'll open that thing. He gives me the Spear of Bitter Mercy. And I was like, if I just did all of that, and I can't equip weapons, I'm going to go insane.
You're going to be talking about your 2,000 children also?
I sure Luckily, shout out to the devs. This is the only shout out you guys are going to get other than the amazing music person. I assume there was one of you. They nailed it.
Okay. The music of Battlespire is so uncredited that I feel like one of the developers went just like, I have a cousin who does music.
Yes.
And just asked
someone. It's so unfair that they're not credited because that music is awesome. And they let me equip the spear. Even though I can't equip weapons, my character's just, I got a poke stick. And I'm like, yes. Then comes my problem of, I had mentioned it before, there was some weird thing where for some reason I can't wear armor that's above 3. One of the pieces of armor was like elven pants or something, and it's a 4. And I'm
One
like,
of the pieces of Savior's side.
Yes. I was like, if I can't equip this, like everything relates to Lotus goes crazy if greater than I'm unable to equip item required to beat game. Like they just break the rules for that too.
Oh, great.
Nope,
okay.
You can just wear this. I'm like, what? Why are any of these real things? It was also suggested, shout out to Benefactor, who's been trying to help as best he. This one seemed like it fried his brain a little bit with the armor thing. Apparently, some of the items can be cursed.
That's fun.
In this game.
Okay.
Don't know when that was ever explained, but apparently cursing items is a thing where it's like, oh, you have a cursed item and it does this awful thing to you. That wasn't it either. Unfortunately, it just seems like I can get effed with wearing better armor. However, apparently quest things seem to overwrite this, which means I'm never taking those pants off because it gives me one more armor. So I was like, okay, cool. I got a slight upgrade, even though the game doesn't want me to have it. And I bum rushed the castle area. I found a door that I missed in like one of the barracks. And it was one of the few satisfying moments in the game. Not a relief like, oh, I slogged across the finish line. I did it, everybody. The huntsman is just a smarmy douchebag. It's a Hearn, and he's like, oh, ha, 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 mortal, like, blah, 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 talking all this crap. And I'm like, I'm going to ram this so far into your face. Like, the devs are going to feel like a pinprick in their hand because, like, this level has been just so long. And he goes on a diatribe about how he's so great. And I get to jab him with the thing. The Spirit Bit of Mercy is hysterical. It's literally just a one-shot to literally anything you touch. Unfortunately, you get it so late into this level, you don't get to use it on a lot of things. But I poked him with it, and he's just like, and just immediately just destroyed. I was like, oh, that was so
I wonder if you could
so
have
satisfying.
Killed Scampy McThirst Everlust with it.
Everscamp McLustthirst fell through the level, apparently never to be heard from again. Because he never came back. His lust was so all-encompassing that apparently he just buried himself in the ground. I was told that technically he has a programmed amount of hit points.
Oh, okay.
And Benefactor said that if you want to sit there and slug him for no joke hours, he will eventually die.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, why would they program that? Like, but either way, Everscamp, he just pieced out. He accepted that I just wasn't feeling it. He took no as an answer, and I appreciate that. So he just moved on, and it's all good. But yeah, it was great getting to smash that dude. And I grab his key, I go into the final room, and inside this castle, there's a whole bunch of more Dramoras because there's just never enough enemies in this stupid level. I kill those things off, and the door seems locked. So I'm like, well, maybe there's a switch up here, which I'm jumping across these rafters to try to like get to this area where I think there's a switch, and mid-jump, it just goes and gives me the end level screen. So I don't know if I did it right or if I accidentally loaded out of the level. But either way, I won. And I got past the Chimera of Desolation and did not save or die so many times that the game corrupted and crashed. So I am
always a positive.
It is.
You are done with the not being able to save part of Elder Scrolls Battlespire.
I'm gonna save just on principle next level. I'm gonna be like, oh look, I'm gonna save that save just so I could save it again later, just because I can. So I did not corrupt my save file. I made it out of the Chimera of Desolation, which puts me on level 6 of 7, meaning there are 2 levels in Battlespire left.
Almost there.
Almost there.
Or maybe it's another 70 hours of 2 levels. Who knows?
Yeah, I have zero idea how long these levels could be. So far, the answer to everyone is longer than the previous level. But I will say, so from what I understand, it looked like the name of the level is called the Havoc Wellhead, which is a pretty cool name for a level, I'm not going to lie. I will be, for anybody at the live show, where it's Saturday. Well, I guess it just started into Sunday, but I will be streaming Battlespire again tomorrow afternoon. So ideally, probably around 3 Eastern would be my goal. But I will be streaming more Battlespire tomorrow, where I pick up in the Havoc Wellhead. But we're going to end on a compliment sandwich. The sandwich is more like a lasagna because it's really just layers of me complaining about Battlespire. However, we're going to end on a high note because I don't get to do that too much. I keep talking about how great the music is. The best music yet tops off level 6.
Oh.
Holy shit, that music is amazing.
Okay, now I'm interested.
I'm not going to lie, I ripped the audio files onto my phone and listened to it at the gym on repeat for like 40 minutes. It's so good. I don't know why the music in this game is so atmospheric and creepy and awesome, but it is. And I feel so bad that
there's no one to credit.
That the programmer's son doesn't get credit, or whoever it was. Or his niece.
I'm telling you, man, it was probably someone like, I don't know, going to college about music or something. Like, yeah, my niece is, he's in music, he's studying music, he can do it, that type of thing, and they never credited the person.
He was learning music programming, like this was the pet project. See, it sounds pretty good. We'll just put it in our game and we won't give you credit.
I have some lore curiosities though.
Okay.
About her. So you got Savior's Hide.
Yes.
To get out of Chimera of Desolation.
Yep.
Which is an island that Dagon chugged into the void because he got angry with a dude.
Yep.
And throughout this island, from what I've seen and what we have told so far, it's sort of referenced almost as the hunting grounds. Right?
Yes. So it seems like, from my understanding, and if anybody actually has like a connecting bit of lore to this, some people have actually like mentioned different parts of this and, this was different. And it's love hearing all this stuff. So that's why it's like, if anybody knows any little bits, it's actually fascinating because the lore, man, you learn that the lore has some weird Dragon Breaky shit in it when it comes to these couple of games and the crossover into the games we know now.
Yeah.
So it seems like the Great Hunt changes places with who is running it.
Oh.
And so from my understanding, the idea is the huntsman is hunting its prey, and as a completion gift, they choose the next person to like, okay, well, I'm now super awesome because I won the Great Hunt. So they basically do not do the next Great Hunt. They pass it on to the next person. This Hearn, the one that was doing this, was being a D-bag because much like with her scene, the prey is supposed to have a sporting chance. Even if it's not a good one, it's there. Well, the problem was he was holding the 6th key in which to escape this area. He's invincible because you're not supposed to do that. And actually, some of the Daedra, if you read their things, they're like, yo, this dude, what does this guy do? Like, you can't do that. Like, you're breaking the rules. Like, what? And he was basically like, I'll do what I want because, like, I'm in charge of this shit, so I'm just gonna do what I want. And I don't want him to escape. Like, so he was bending the rules to start with because of that, which I was like, oh, this is interesting. So I got to bend the rules by grabbing the Spear of Bitter Mercy to murder him and then take the key. And I was like, okay, well, now I'm out. Like, good to go. So it seems like this one just happened to be chosen because of me screwing shit up in the previous level. Yeah. They were like, okay, well, if he ended up on the Chimera of Desolation, we hunt him on the Chimera of Desolation, because that's where so that was my understanding, at least.
So you that makes sense. You were okay.
Yeah, it does.
Great Hunt doesn't necessarily have to be in the hunting grounds. It can be any
the hunting grounds
you pick.
Become where the fight basically needs to be. And since I was the target, they're like, well, okay, he just got out of the previous area. We got to get him here. Like this, we're setting it up. Like everybody get ready. This is where we're going to do this then.
But throughout all this, even with like Savior's Hide, which is known as the artifact of, her scene, the Great Hunt, the principles of the Great Hunt, even that you have a fighting chance with the keys, you have a chance to escape and everything. They're all there, but no actual mention of her scene whatsoever.
No mention of her scene.
That is so strange.
And the other thing, which I guess is the only thing that spawned, I'm trying to find the name for it real quick, just so I can reference it other than the green porcupine. The place that I had a little while back mentioned, I went into this green like this green, it kind of just looked like a green porcupine pretty much. And I walked inside the door because it required the key that I got off the Fire Daedra, and I just got butchered. I didn't even know what was happening. That was apparently built by the Daedra. So the name of the actual thing, the Chapel of the Innocent Quarry, which that's me, basically. Like, I'm the innocent quarry that they're all hunting. So, like, that was apparently placed there by them. And that's basically where all the rules are given out and blah, 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 blah. So, like, that was, I guess, their setup for the Great Hunt. So I guess maybe they make one wherever they plan on doing it. I don't know. The amount that they accomplish in a short period of time is rather interesting. But yeah, so that was pretty much how that played out. It was very involved, but I beat it. With 2 levels left, that one was comically long, but it was also so many parts, and the island was straight up, for lack of a better word, almost like open world. And there were there were a lot of temples you would go in and stuff. It was pretty ambitious for a game that old, that area had that many parts to it. It was pretty interesting to see for what it was, despite its frustrations. But yeah, so I don't know, we're getting close. And Dagon reference, swish, totally worth it.
That's the thing. All this struggle, so you could learn that Dagon chucked an island into the void.
Yep. All because somebody else went back on their bargain. So we know that the Longhouse Emperors going back on their bargain. That was debt come due. So all I've learned so far is that he has a track record of doing stuff like this.
So do you have anything else?
That's it. That was the disaster of a situation. I assume my gear is just fucked forever. But at least I have one piece that now does 4 armor. So
there you go.
Hey,
the silver lining to all of this.
I'll take it. It's 1 number higher than what it was previous.
Well, I mean, earlier on we said this was gonna be an actually very short episode, but there you go, 2 hours again.
Yeah, I told you.
Which just
it's not in our destiny to record an hour episode. It's just it doesn't work.
That was my point. I was like, we'll just have a short 2-hour episode this time. So sure enough, here we are.
I really thought we were gonna be like, because when we got into Tales at like 10 minutes, because 10 minutes we were like, we don't have any news this week. You know, Rich and Gina streams now, so go check them out. It's Tales time. I was like, I guess this is going to be like, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes episode. And yeah, 1 hour, 45 minutes as of the recording. Over almost 2.5 hours if you have access to the pre and post shows, which you can do by Twitch subscribing or supporting on Patreon. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink.
Yeah. In that case, since we are slowly losing Pixie as well, as of the time, since we are recording this late at around 10:30 p.m. Eastern time and going over 2 hours into very, very late times.
It's like 1 a.m. here.
Yep. Yeah. So it is the end of the episode 288. So Lotus, where can people find you and all this Battlespire shenanigans live?
So you can find me at LotusOfDoom on Twitter and Twitch if you want to watch me actually play through these antiques. And I also record each Thursday with robots, as we mentioned earlier in the show, for the Elder Scrolls Lorecast. And I'm not usually one to tease stuff because it's annoying and I don't like to necessarily go out of my way to be annoying. But let's just say, in regards to that, some exciting stuff coming up with regards to that show in the coming month, I'll say. So stay tuned, and it'll be very interesting, and it's very Bethesda related.
Ooh. Okay, now you got me. Oh man.
See,
now
worked,
I gotta go pester Tom about what it is. I'm gonna like, hey, what is it? Lotus said something. What is it? All right. Well, do go follow Lotus. His streams are absolutely epic, although not at all family. Like, this is his censored version, just so you know, especially when he's streaming Battlespire or any other Elder Scrolls classic games. Just so you know, earmuffs on the kids.
Yeah,
and that's
it's
how
never
you watch it.
Yeah, it's never, I'd never want anybody to feel uncomfortable or whatever, but at the same time, whoo boy, when I get into gaming or speaking, when I'm not at least attempting to somewhat edit myself, since we removed the family-friendly tag, I don't need to think quite as much about it. You want to watch me, go back to that, just watch Lorecast where I cannot swear, so I definitely pause in between speaking much more frequently because it's problematic. But yeah, my own stream, I'm always about, I want you to be all comfortable hanging out with me because it makes streaming this stuff fun. But yeah, my natural dialect is a little more sweary, especially when I'm dying every 5 seconds in a video game.
I don't know anyone who could not swear playing Elder Scrolls Battlespire, I'll be honest. I gotta say, because he is in chat, even Matty, I don't think would be able to keep his 100% wholesome family friendliness on Battlespire. I'm just saying. I don't know. Pixie, what about you?
You can find me on Twitch at HyperPixie Gaming and on Twitter at HyperPixie Games.
Go follow Pixie as well. She's one of the Elder Scrolls stream team members. Lots of fun, lots of dungeon running, lots of giveaways and whatnot too. So go check her out. And as for everything we do, you can follow over at dungeoncrawlernetwork.com. There you can find links to all of our social media, including Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and Discord. Be sure to check out our Patreon at patreon.com/dungeoncrawlernetwork if you want to help support the show, get some benefits like early access, pre-show, post-show stuff, and some physical rewards. You can also leave us a 5-star review on iTunes so people know that we are a real podcast, that we say real words, and sometimes they matter. Also, that, as we mentioned earlier, we can hug ESO Lorecast by going one up on that Minecraft show on the top charts. Thank you all so very much for joining us on this episode of Tales of Tamriel, and we will see you all next week. Have a great night, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
See you later.
Akatosh slew Lorcan, he ripped his heart right out. He hurled it across Tamriel, and the heart was heard to shout, red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. The laughing heart sprayed blood afar, a gout on Seer it fell, and like a dart shot to its mark down in an alien well. Magicka fused the Lorcan blood to crystal red and strong. Then wild elves cut and polished it down to chimel at a ball. Red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. When elves lost Nirn to men, Akatosh gave the stone to Saint Alesh in token of her right to sit the throne. Red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. Red diamond, protect us till the end.